Hey everyone, David Godina here from Fellowship of Faith. And for faith training tips and techniques this week, we're talking about how to give. I know as soon as I kind of start talking about the topic of how to give, it can invoke all kinds of emotionally charged attitudes from the past. Maybe you've been burned from different charities or televangelists or, whatever it is that you feel like are always trying to leech you for money. But, I found that most people truly want to be generous. And especially for Christians, where God has given us everything, we know that our response back is to be generous as well. But the difficulty with generosity is that the way we try to judge it in ourselves is often by comparing ourselves to other people. And that's a dangerous game because some people like to pose. We don't know what other people give. We don't know what those standards are. And so we can start to make ideas up in our mind that we're more generous than we actually are. It's in this case that the Bible has an actual objective standard by which to judge whether we're generous or not. And it's called the tithe. In ancient Israel, they used to give 10%, a tithe, 10% of whatever they made as an offering of generosity and sacrifice and even faith back to God. And I want to encourage you that as you look at your own giving, compare it against the tithe. And I want to just say this, if you're not giving 10%, question whether you're generous. Now, I know as soon as I start talking about something like 10%, for some of us, this is like, it's so out of league, right? It's like, there is no way that that's even possible. What I'd like to do, though, is give you 5 techniques, 5 steps anyone I would encourage to take, whether you don't give anything at all to bless and help others in this world, or whether you're giving tithe or more than that already. 5 steps into a continually deepening, generous life. The first is this. You have to have a charity to give it to. If you sit there just wondering for something to fall in your lap or wondering, where do I begin? It never happens. You need to take a first step of vetting something, partnering with God in some way He's trying to expand His kingdom in this world, bringing life to people, helping people, making the world better, helping his good news and His care and His message go out. Your local church is probably a great place to begin with this, but it doesn't have to stop there. But step number 1, pick a charity and commit to it. Number 2, the next thing you want to do is pick an amount. Now, what I like to encourage people to do is make it proportionate. Don't just say $5 a week or $10 a week, but actually pick a percentage of what you make. That way, whatever you have coming in, it fluctuates in what you give going out. If 10% is way out of just all leaps and bounds to begin with, well, maybe you start less, 5%, 3%, even 1%. If you're not doing this already, and commit to give that percentage. It'll do 2 things. It'll keep you proportionate, but it'll also help you keep track of what you actually have coming in the ways that God is blessing you. Now, number 3, after you've picked charity, after you've picked a percentage or amount, give it first. You want to do this as the first thing and not the leftover. Don't sit there and make sure everything else is taken care of first. Don't pay your bills first. Make sure that this is covered. Make sure that this is covered. This becomes an act of faith. And fundamentally, giving is an act of faith. Look, at some level, God doesn't need your money. It's all His anyway. But He invites us with what He gives us to partner with Him and to step out in faith going, Lord, I'm trusting You in this, and I'm going to see if You provide. Make it the first thing that you do. Now, number 4 is to practice this regularly. Don't just do it once. Every time you have something coming in, do it. Every paycheck. Every time you get birthday money in the mail, whatever it happens to be, attach it to it so it is a constant first response to the way God is blessing you. And 5, commit to this for 90 days. Just commit to this for 90 days and see what happens. The only time that God invites us to test Him is in this arena. He says in Malachi, test me in this and see if I don't open the floodgates of heaven and pour so much blessing out on you that it starts coming out your nose. Kind of my translation, but you get the spirit. Test God in it and do it for 90 days and just see what happens. See how God provides. See the joy and the spirit of generosity it wells up. Feel the sacrifice through this period of time. And after that 90, just have a moment with God going, Lord, okay, where's it go from here? And what I encourage everyone to do is every 90 days, go, Lord, if I'm not tithing, how do I dare upticking this just a little bit more for another 90 and another 90 and another 90? And to those of you who are tithing already, I encourage you to do the same. Look, we often think we're far more generous than we are. I know I do, and I get it. But God is constantly inviting us into deeper generosity and sacrifice with Him. Give it a shot. See how these 5 steps work. See where He takes you. And hey, remember this. It's all His to begin with anyway. So really, we're just managing what He is entrusting us with. Manage it well. God bless.